Petrie. I work up the Rakaia Gorge on a farm called the Glen.
Hi, my name's Natasha Petrie. I work at Benmore Station.
We grew up in Staveley on a farm there. It's about 500 acres. I left school when I was 16 and basically my get out of school card was to get a job. So I had a part-time job working down at the local cafe in Staveley. So I took that on full-time and then done winters 3 days a week in the winter at my cousin's place at Castlereagh Station. And then after that I started working at the Glen and then a couple of days casual.
After sixth form, went straight to Lincoln University, did my diploma in farm management, and part of that you do a practical year, which I did up at Arrowsmith Station up at Ashburton Gorge. Once I'd finished my diploma, I went over to Ireland and spent a year over there just working on a sheep farm, which was quite a good experience, very different, all indoors. I decided to go over to Australia and spend some time over there, and I worked on a Dorper stud, and that was sort of my first introduction into the stud side of things, which I really enjoyed. The couple I worked for, she was a vet, and so they did a lot of ET programs and AIing of stock, and just the way the genetics worked was quite interesting. After that I went to Western Australia, worked on a big station over there, 60,000 ewes. Once I'd finished the season there, I come back to New Zealand and got a job at Benmore Station.
I think working on the merino stud though is where we got the actual more knowledge about the sheep and the wool and everything from, whereas working on a sheep station you get more the stock sense and everything, but working on the studs where you learn.
Yeah, when you're working on a stud, you're very involved. I think we're both pretty involved with the stud side of things on the farms we work on, and that's quite interesting, that sort of thing, especially with the AI and all the technology. I think both farms have, and you learn a lot, and it is interesting the way the genetics play a part, and yeah. I think a lot of farmers, probably more nowadays, they sort of understand that girls can, do as much as guys can, and I think
they're a lot more accepted.
And especially, I think, on the studs, because, I've heard that a lot of girls are more interested in the stud side of things, and a lot of farmers see that and they tend to be, it's probably not true, but perhaps more particular about some things, sort of record keeping and that sort of thing, and so there are a lot of farmers out there who are sort of, wanting to employ girls for those sort of reasons. And I think as far as farm work goes, for all the technology and the tractors and everything, I think it's a lot easier perhaps than it was sort of 40, 50 years ago. But
I think we've just been doing it for long enough. If there's something we know we're going to struggle with a wee bit, we can always find a way around it.
Yeah, exactly. You have your little, things that you know.
That you can do.
Yeah, I think if you've got, say the reputation that, you're a hard worker and that, then it's pretty easy to get a job, I think, being a girl.
I was sort of quite a shy person and things, and then I got asked to do the secretary job, and I was sort of like, oh god, it was a big step up for me, but really when you get into something like that, it's so much easier than it looks, and it's made me be able to get up in front of people more and say my word rather than holding back a wee bit. It's brought my confidence up a lot more, and just getting out there and doing things, socialising, and I think the team is really good, and it also means that if you're in team when you're at school and you go to another area and you know that there's young farmers there, you can sort of join and you know what young farmers is all about, so you can fit in quite well and meet new people there. My auntie Aileen and Uncle John, they've wanted me to do it for years, and so I went along to the judging with them for about 5 years in a row, but never really had the confidence to get up there and do it myself.
I was probably only maybe 13, 14 years old, and she was taking me off to a merino conference, and I didn't know, but when we actually got there, I think even after we had got there, she said that they were doing merino judging, and I was just going, no, I don't want to do this.
Not last year, but the year before, I finally decided, me and my friend decided, right, we're going to do this, and so we ended up arriving late actually, so I was lucky that we even got to judge, and that was at the Canterbury judging, and then I ended up winning it.
Courtney won it, and it sort of I was sort of thinking about it because, yeah, it's a pretty big thing to win. And so then just working here at Benmore Station, and he's very passionate about merinos and with the stud and everything, and yeah, he sort of persuaded me and the other guy who worked here to have a go at it, and so we went in the Mackenzie district here and I won that.
So then I went over to Perth last year in October and I got 4th over there.
I'm off to Aussie the end of March.
I think the judging's just sort of what we do, classing the sheep every year. Sort of when you bring in the sheep and so you go through them, and normally I sort of start at the head and you look at the head and the ears and make sure they have no colouring on their face and things. And sort of just look back through the wool and make sure they're standing on their feet right, and nice big barrel, big sheep, nice big body. It's all people that are really passionate and know their sheep and can probably tell what order they're in from sort of looking up there. So
yeah, so you sort of what to do your best. A lot of it's sort of your gut feeling, and especially when working on the place, you sort of do it over and over again. You sort of have to trust your natural instincts. If you've got a passion for it and enjoy it, then yeah, definitely go for it. I think it is perhaps glorified a wee bit. I think, it's definitely not like McLeod's daughters or anything. I mean, you have days when you're out mustering and you're with your dogs and everything goes right and it's just nowhere you'd rather be. But then you have days where it can be long, hard days, working in the shearing shed or in winter and it's snowing and it's cold and you sort of wonder, why am I doing this? I mean, if it's something you enjoy, then I think it's a really good, it's a good lifestyle. Most days it almost doesn't feel like a job.